All right, Mike G in the place to be. It's Wednesday, which means Mike on the money. Mike Giordano, financial advisor with Williams Wealth Management. Thank you for being here. So we have been in a bull market for 2 years now, pushing people closer to their goals. Unfortunately, mistakes sometimes happen when you're on the road to get there. So Mike, right now, I think we all want to know, in your experience, what is the main issue that people face when they're nearing the finish line?
Rashad, it's kind of surprising, but a lot of people don't even know they're nearing the finish line. And you might go, how in the world does somebody not know they're nearing one of their financial goals? And you have to think through that there's different types of financial goals. There's those simple goals, like I want to save $10,000 for a vacation next year, $30,000 for a car, $100,000 for a down payment on a home. And so those are one-offs, right? But then you have these more complex goals, retirement being a very obvious one, where these things go on for years or decades. Business planning the same way, education planning. So there's a whole lot of factors that go into play, and so it's oftentimes people just don't even understand, like, where am I in terms of nearing the finish line of a retirement plan.
And a lot of people quit right before they get there. Does this throw some of the expectations off?
Yeah, I mean, one of the challenges is that, when you're trying to help somebody design strategy for a retirement plan, for example, you might say, we're trying to target a 7 or 8% long-term rate of return. And so you hear 7 or 8%, but the hard part is that that's not how the markets operate. They go up and they go down, they go up and they go down. And so people tend to focus on what the most recent experience is. So if they're down in their portfolio, they're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm always going to be down. I'm not getting that 7% rate of return. I'm underwater. Conversely, here we've had 2 years of just big returns, and so the expectation now is that we're going to get significantly better than those 7 or 8% long-term returns. And so what happens is people just get a little bit over their skis, and they believe that that's going to continue forever.
And so close to success, does this alter the future? Say I decide to just kind of give up on it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, but I've seen so many people say, I'm ready to retire, and then all of a sudden something happens in the markets and they're not able to, and it's because they were going too fast. It's very much
happens.
Exactly. It's like if you're going down Interstate 85 and you're driving 85 in the left-hand lane, and all of a sudden you realize this is my exit, you got a problem. It's going to be really hard for you to get over, so you're going to have to go down maybe to the next exit, loop around and come back. Maybe there's no problem, there's no traffic, there's no issues, but you could easily run into a traffic jam, something else, and all of a sudden it was hard just to get back to where you thought. So you were right there, you were very close to the finish line, but you ended up having to take this long way around, and that's the issue that people sometimes run into, and that's a real problem if you were wanting to retire this year and now all of a sudden you can't for a couple of years.
And you just painted a good picture, I think, for all of us. So how do we take action? We're throwing out scenarios, but now help us get there.
Yeah, so if you're trying to figure out, am I close to a goal, and one of these complex goals like retirement, you have to say, okay, what's my goal? I want $100,000 in lifestyle expenses every year. So you start with working off, what are all the income streams I got coming in? Pensions, Social Security, maybe an annuity, and you put all that money together. And then if you say, okay, that makes up $40,000, now I need my portfolio to drive the other $60,000. We're going to talk in generalities here, but let's just say you could safely take a 4% withdrawal out of your portfolio every year. That means that to get that $60,000, you might need $1.5 million. So now all of a sudden you can say, am I close to $1.5 million in portfolio assets? If you're significantly higher than that, you may be able to start backing off. And that's kind of what we're talking about here. Over the last 2 years, we've had a major push higher. And so people may have seen 30, 40, 50% gains in their portfolios. And so they just need to be able to now try to make the necessary adjustments so they can lock those gains in.
All right, great to know, Mike. We appreciate you taking us all by the hand and guiding us to the finish line.
That's the goal.